Alan Richardson, how frustrating was that to lose a game that you dominated for long periods?
I think incredibly frustrating. I think we're boys in there. We haven't had really much of a chance to catch up yet, but a very, very quiet changing room. Some very disappointed people in there, and yeah, so we should be.
What went wrong today?
I think that Warwickshire played very well. Without a shadow of a doubt, they stuck to their task really well. I think ultimately it's not just about today, it goes on further than that, and I think probably if we were to look at it, we weren't clinical enough in the third and fourth innings of this game. So I think a lot of credit should go to Warwickshire. We'll have a long hard look at all of ourselves about what we could have done differently and how we could have put that game out of reach, but we didn't, and we gave them a sniff. And I think fair play to Warwickshire. Disappointing for us, they played really well and stuck to their task very well.
By third and fourth innings, you should have left them 450?
I'd like to think that with the lead that we had, we probably should have got a few more runs ahead, and ultimately it took a really good partnership from Adam and Ethan again yesterday. I think at one stage we were 299 ahead when Adam went out, and that really that was never going to be enough, I don't think. So I think ultimately we have to look at that, and clinical enough in the third innings of the game and today didn't execute our skills well enough over these last 2 days, which is ultimately disappointing for us.
Yeah. You always talk about bowling as a group. Did you bowl as a group today, do you think?
I don't know, Brad, if I'm honest. Probably not, because it's going to tell you that they've knocked them off 5 down. And I think for us, one of our mantras would be to create pressure for long periods of time as a bowling unit. And you look at that, and for them to have scored the amount of runs they have, that probably not. But I always like to look at it. I think as soon as we start getting into batting and bowling stuff, then we start to get really dangerous. It's 11 guys out there, it's how we perform together as a team and how we set ourselves up for a game. And ultimately today, we gave them, like I say, a sniff, and they took it. And like I say, fair play to them. As much as it'll hurt us to admit that, that's the position we got ourselves into.
Bertie Foreman came in for you in this game, very enthusiastic. How did he bowl?
I thought he did really well. I think probably if you ask them, they wanted to spin quite a lot here, and it didn't. He stuck to his task really well, I thought. Created some problems. He was great in the field. He stuck at it with the bat. He was probably a bit disappointed that he didn't go on, and certainly in the third innings of the game. But a real welcome addition for this game, certainly.
Yeah. A word for Ethan Brooks. A tremendous game for him. He broke the record for the most sixes on the ground, most sixes in a Worcestershire innings. He's in a real spell of form.
Yeah, he is. I think the last block of T20 games, he really played magnificently well in that and helped us win a couple of games in that, and he's carried that form on here. And I think for him, he got 230 runs in the game. For him to be on the losing side is really tough. All the guys, like I say, will all be hurting, support staff and players. And for someone to have put in that kind of performance and then finish on the losing side is never great. I do think for parts our performance was really good, and we should take great heart from that. But ultimately, like I talk about, the results are what dictates it. I will always look at the performance first and foremost, and the reaction we've had since Surrey has been really good. But ultimately, like I say today, the crucial parts of the game over the last couple of days, we haven't been clinical enough.
4 games left to go. What are you going to win? 2 or 3 of those?
I haven't quite looked at that yet, but as many as we can. We need to accumulate as many points as we can. We'd like to have thought that this was a real good opportunity for us to do that. So, that's disappointing. But, when we went into the T20 campaign, we knew we had to try and win as many as we could, and I thought we had a real good shot at that. It's an opportunity for us to do that starting again on Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
This is Mike the Plasterer. He needs a trusted supplier for his materials and tools. Mike needs Profile Store. With an easy-to-use website, you can check stock online, order it and collect it within the hour. Profile Store offer free delivery over £125 and fast overnight shipping. With over 2,000 products in stock, they're sure to have what you need. So get yourself down to the trade counter in Kidderminster today. Get the job done with profilestore.co.uk.